Hey people! I'm gonna talk about Asperger's syndrome a little bit and also dolls. I'm gonna reintroduce Aster. He's my Bo Bobby elfkin in white skin. And yes, he is wearing a dress. His wig is from Dalmore, which is actually a pain in the butt. It's pretty as everything, but it's tangly and fly away, and I actually invested in detangler for my dolls. Don't think I've ever bought it before. But that's Aster, and this is Karl. Guten Tag. He's German. And a vampire. And he needs shoes! The shoes I got him didn't fit. But he poses and stands really well. And he's a Doll Zone Leo. I got his wig from eBay and his eyes from somebody on Den of Angels forum. Guten Abend! But yeah, I had a thought as I was watching some stuff on Aspergers today. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube. You should really go look. One thing I noticed was that somebody mentioned they identify with or fixate on inanimate objects more easily than real people, or either about the same or easier. And I've noticed that too. In fact, I think one reason why I really like the dolls is because their faces aren't real. They have that uncanny valley thing where they especially people who are not used to seeing a doll like this, they'll go, wow, that's creepy or whatever, because they do look pretty realistic. Or some of the dolls will look like so unrealistic. Like some of the Pullip dolls are a little more out there as far as their styling and stuff. That's Shane. She's a little doll, Soldier of Card's head on a kitty body. Yes, and she has her nice lighter body now. I had her on a tan one originally. But, yeah, they don't look like real people. And for me, it's an aesthetic thing where, you know, you look at them and they're like, well, okay, a person doesn't look like that. Maybe an elf would look like that, you know, if elves were real. But, the other thing is that I think it's because I do have trouble with people's faces so often, and eye contact and all that, that seeing something that is close, that is like, you know, it's almost like I could, if you looked like this to me, I could probably interact with you a lot easier, which is a strange thought, isn't it? But, yeah, that's the way it is, and I almost wish that, I don't know, maybe we all looked like dolls or something. Of course, then I wonder if we would need restrung, or if our hands would break, or if we'd be looking for new shoes because our eBay shoes didn't fit. Sort of along the same topic, on the Fear the Boot podcast recently, they were talking about children and RPGs, and how do you get children into something like Dungeons and Dragons that's very mathematically complex, or that has deep characters and deep plot, and you might bring up something like Harvest Festival, and all you meant for it was that, okay, you're telling your players that there's a Harvest Festival in this town. Okay, now they know that, like, there's people eating turkey and dressed up and whatever, and there's, like, leaves and stuff around. Okay, yay, we've got a Harvest Festival. And, a little kid, on the other hand, is gonna be like, unless they've been to a Harvest Festival, they may not know what that means. And one guy mentioned that his entire campaign derailed into the children wanting to play at the Harvest Festival because he got into explaining what that was, and they thought it was neat, and so instead of, let's go to the castle and rescue the princess, or whatever it was going to be, he ends up, they're watching the jugglers or something, whatever they were doing. And they were entertained, so that's cool, but I thought back to my past and how, yeah, I had a lot of stereotypical girl toys. I had stuffed animals and dolls and My Little Ponies and She-Ra dolls. But I do remember wishing that I had, like, G.I. Joes or He-Man dolls especially. But for some reason, like I got it. I got the idea that was wrong, according to the stereotype world. Like, I was supposed to like, or at least supposed to own girl things. I don't know, maybe I got a lecture, I don't remember, who knows. But, I didn't have very understanding parents as far as that went. far as a lot of things went. But anyways, in the meantime, I was thinking that, okay, back when I was 10 to 12, and before that, who knows, because my memory's terrible, I had these very complex plots, I thought, like, and there was always, like, an evil, conniving bad guy. I knew the idea between right and wrong, and he was always trying to do bad things and take over the world and rescue the sappy love interest maiden, and there was the macho hero guy, and a ton of minor characters and little subplots and things going on with all these toys, and I got really into that, and I wish that back then somebody had introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons or the like, because the game mechanics would have been difficult, yeah. At that age, it's gonna be, but if somebody had said, okay, when you want to listen for something, you roll this dice. Okay, I get that. I can roll that dice, and the DM can tell me how well I did, you know. A high number is good, I get that, you know. If you want to attack something, then the amount of damage that you do, that's this dice, you roll that one. Okay, I can get that. Wouldn't have any problem with the story or the characters, assuming that it wasn't too an adult concept or whatever. Or if the DM is willing to kind of slow it down, and just kind of explain, you know, okay, what is a harvest festival? Ah, okay, got it. Moving on, rescuing the princess. But, yeah, so, between fantasy worlds and little fantasy guys, it's interesting. I kind of wonder how many people who collect ball-jointed dolls might have some of the Aspergers type traits, because it's kind of that, okay, I'm 32 and I play with dolls. What does that mean? Does it mean that I have an active imagination? Obviously. There's things that go on in my head all the time, that kind of other world that I live in, that either I am in entirely if I'm doing something boring or repetitive or not really doing anything at all, or most of the time it overlaps with reality to help me cope. So I will bring the characters, which now I have 2 dolls that are characters that have been in my head a lot lately, and they'll just kind of be there, and they'll either help me get through something, or they will provide a distraction so that I can get through in the meantime. Some people mention that with Asperger's it's difficult to multitask. I don't find that true with myself if everything that I'm multitasking is something that I'm interested in. If I'm not interested in the thing that's intruding, then we're screwed. We're done, and I have to like take a step back and figure out how I'm going to deal with it, because I can like play a video game, chat on instant messenger, and probably watch a video or something all at the same time, but I have to be interested in those 3 things. If I'm chatting and playing a video game and someone says, hey, here's a video, watch it, and it's something that I really don't want to, not interested in or whatever, it's like, oh crud, now I gotta like take my brain off the track and go, okay, we're pausing everything, or I'll leave it until I can deal with it, whatever. So as far as the dolls go, since I'm trying to tie this all into dolls and Asperger's, yeah, I do wonder how many other doll owners have that, because the ability to play, there was somebody who said, and I don't remember who said it, something about, you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. And I think Asperger's people are, especially if they're on the creative end, I'm not so sure about the technical, really geeky end. Although I suppose if they're going to Star Trek conventions and dressing up as Captain Picard, then they're still playing in a sense. But I wonder if Asperger's people kind of handle that a little better, that not growing up concept. That yeah, you learn things with wisdom over the years. 32 years I have learned a lot. And I dislike the concept of growing up, but at the same time I can look at a person who's being very immature and just drama queen, whatever, and I want to tell them to grow up. And at that point, I don't mean get old. I mean wisen up. because I will sit on the floor and play Legos with you, but grow up. So, I think that's it. You want to say goodbye? Bye. Bye. They're gonna go get comfy on the doll couch now, because they like that. Bye.